Hi, welcome back to SARA Daily, where we bring you our best simple, actionable, reliable advice to help you grow and scale your small business. Today, we are talking about how to measure your potential market. This is really important, especially if you are launching new products or new services, or even if your business has been around for a while and you want to look at how your market has grown and changed since you started or since you opened. Knowing how to calculate and evaluate your potential market for an existing or a new business is really, really important. So here's a few things that I want you to look at when you are calculating potential market. These aren't necessarily going to apply to everybody, and you don't need to go into a lot of depth on some of these, but they're really important to understand and will help you know what the potential is. The first thing is just understanding market analysis basics. So we go into depth in this in our framework, but this is looking at if you are in a local market, if your business is an offline business that requires more in-person contact and is kind of limited to a region or a local market, the general market analysis is looking at things like population and how many competitors there are. Is this something that anybody else in town already does? Is there enough demand for this? Where are you located in your region? And is that going to affect the market? So really getting into the basics of demographics, the basics of location, and getting confident around how much potential there is and how you would access that potential market. If you are more of an online business or you are an offline business who's building an online product, then of course the market analysis is much broader. And then you start to look at things like niche and really refining what you do so that you're not speaking to a million people. You're trying to speak to just the specific ideal customer. So that type of market analysis in a broader sense is going to go into ideal customer work, your skill set and what you're an expert at and all of those kind of things. So market analysis basics is the place to start no matter what type of business you have. And we have a lot of tools around that we can help you with if you're interested. The second thing is understanding the concept of total accessible market. So this is a big TAM. You'll hear this in the startup world a lot. And this is looking at in all of the world or all of your available market, what's the total possible market that your business could access? Well, in a city, if you are a brick and mortar business, it's the whole population. You know, if you have a yoga studio, the total available market is all 100,000 people that live in that city. But then you start to chip away to really calculate total available market. You do have to kind of chip away at how many of those 100,000 people actually do yoga, and how many of those people then want to come to a studio, and how many of those people live within a certain amount of miles from your studio so they would realistically drive. So you start to chip away at total available market down to what you can really realistically serve and what's more realistically your true market. So when you see something like TAM, that acronym, total accessible market, that is the top level amount of people that you could possibly reach. And then you whittle that down into a more realistic number as you do more data collection and analysis. And then the third thing in understanding your potential market is competitor analysis. And this is really, really important and not something that should threaten you, no matter if you are a local business or an online business. Looking at your competitors is really powerful and really inspiring. Where you have to have some discipline is to make sure that you're not getting lost in comparison and lost in envy or copying or anything like that. But it is an important part of understanding what the potential market for your business is to look at the people who are already in that market and how well they're doing. So don't get discouraged when you do a competitor analysis. It's a really important part of understanding your potential market. It's something that you will really appreciate having done when you start to need to differentiate yourself and come up with some messaging around why you're different. And then lastly, bringing all of this together, really understanding potential market is a calculation around product market fit. So we talk a lot about product market fit in our framework, in our community, and that is really this idea of what you want to sell, whether it's a product or a service, and this potential market that you've identified, is that a fit? So when you look ultimately at product market fit, you are making a decision to say, yes, what I want to sell is a fit with this potential market. So that's your tip for today. To understand this in more detail and to do this work with some help, check out the community, our online membership mastermind site for women with small businesses. We would love to help you with this work. Identifying potential market and going into this market analysis can be a lot of work and can bring up a lot of questions. So don't get discouraged. Come find a community that can help. We would love to help you. Thanks for watching.